Now let's learn some Docker commands today. Very first command is Docker version. Using that command, we can check our Docker version. We are using here Docker version is 27.0.3. Docker version command used to show the version of Docker. Next command, Docker pull. Docker pull command used to pull the images from Docker Hub. And we want to run any kind of application, then for that in Docker Compose file, we mention Docker image, right? So that image is pulled from the hub.docker.com. So for that, this command is used. Let's copy Docker pull. Suppose I want to pull Nginx image from Docker Hub. So Docker pull Nginx. This command will pull. Yes. So this command is used to pull the image. Now, if we want to see images, how many images I have on my local. So there is a command for that to check how many images I pulled from Docker Hub. So Docker images, for that we can use this command, is images, right? So I have on my local system WordPress image, Ubuntu image, Nginx, MySQL, 3 images, different versions, PHP image. So this command basically used to list all the images on local. Then Docker run. Docker run, if I want to run this Nginx on my local, then I have to run this command. It successfully run. So I can check Nginx on this port. Localhost 8080. See, Nginx is working fine on my local because we pulled the image from Docker Hub, Nginx image, and Nginx is working on local 8080 port. Next command is Docker PS. I have already used this command many times. Docker PS to list down all the containers. How many containers are running, to show that we use this command. So currently the Nginx container is running on my local. Then Docker stop. Docker stop used to stop the container. So let's try to use this command to stop this container. Docker stop and container ID. This is the container ID of Nginx. This container is stopped. Now if we try to access it on this port, it will not work. It's gone, right? Again, next command is Docker stop, Docker start. Now again we can start Docker start and container ID. it's started, right? Now let's move to other command, docker restart command also to restart the container. Then docker rm, remove and stop the container. Suppose if I want to remove this container, docker rm container id. This is our container id. Okay, first we need to stop the container. Now we can run that command. It's removed, right? Next we have docker rm, then remove one or more images from your local system. This is rmi nginx. Suppose if we want to remove this image from our system, images nginx is there. So now if we want to remove docker rmi nginx, it's removed. Docker images, it's gone, right? We have command docker exec. This is used to log into the container. We can go inside the container and we can check the configuration of the container. Suppose how many containers are running. Let's see, docker ps, no container is running. So let's start the container nginx, docker pull the image nginx, and then we will run this container. I think using these commands, it's easy, very easy. We just need to understand how these commands are working. Docker ps. Now we have two nginx docker images run. We need to run this test mode. Docker ps. Now I have started the docker nginx container is running, and now I have to log in docker exec command it and docker container id. This command use docker container id and bash. You see, I logged into the inside the container root @ this id. That means now I am inside the docker container and I can see the configurations all of the docker Docker container inside that. So these are all files which required to run the Nginx. The same way the Apache server, Apache web server contain their directories and configuration files. Nginx is also have all these files. So this command is used to basically log into the inside the container, and we can whatever configuration needed, we can make the changes here, etc, home, library, and all. So this is exec command. Then logs. If you look logs, then this command is used. So I am exiting here. Container ID. I need to mention the container ID as well. See, this way we can see the related logs of the container. Then we have a docker build command. This command basically used to build the image of our application to push to the Docker Hub. So Docker push command, for that we need to create a Docker file with the dependencies. So for that we need to create a separate application for that, and then if we want to create our own image of our application with along with different set of dependencies. So for that we can, so that our application is easily available for others. Then this way we can push that application in Docker Hub. Then anyone can pull that image from Docker Hub push easily. Then Docker push command used to create, first we need to create this image, then we need to push that image on Docker Hub. Then Docker Compose I have already used many times. This is used to run the services which are mentioned with Docker Compose file. Like earlier, we used our application cd php app. Here we have Docker Compose file, and if we use Docker Compose up, this will execute this Docker Compose file, and on the basis of that, related containers will created and our application will be up. Nginx is running on, this application is running our 8081 port. So this is our Docker Compose, and same way we have a Docker down to stop the containers. Docker down. Docker Compose down. This will stop and remove the running containers. Okay. So today we covered 16 commands of Docker. It's very easy to use these commands. You need to understand these command, how these, what is the purpose of the commands, how we can use these commands. But for that, first you need to install Docker, and your Docker should run on your local, and then you can check each and every command. I hope you get it right. So this is your today challenge. Let's try to run these commands, and along with how to run a WordPress using Docker on your local system. I think it's enough for today. Keep implementing, learning and implementing, and let's meet tomorrow with something new. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.